A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
It's lines like that that have made Silence of the Lambs an American classic. Filled with grotesque visuals and high-caliber performances, Lambs continues to engage audiences almost 20 years after its release. But what is it about this film we find so interesting? What separates Lambs from the other thrillers that followed it? Well, just give me a few minutes of your time, and let's go back and take a closer look at Silence of the Lambs. On the surface, the plot of Lambs is about the hunt for a serial killer, specifically using the mind of one killer to track down another. But the story of Silence of the Lambs is about transformation. What's interesting to me is how the idea of transformation is communicated through the theme of animals. Throughout the films, we see connections between human characters and animal-like behavior. For instance, we have the character of Clarice Starling, played by Jodie Foster. It's no accident that the hero is named after a type of bird. Perhaps the film is even suggesting that Clarice is a shy bird who must transform herself, leave the nest, and eventually must learn to fly on her own. In one scene, Starling is even told by Hannibal Lecter to fly back to school. The character of Buffalo Bill is a demented serial killer who is repeatedly associated with insects and butterflies. Now, Bill identifies with the insect, seeing how the butterfly sheds its skin and transforms into a new being, just as the character of Bill wishes that he could. The imagery of butterflies appears throughout the film and is part of both the textual and subtextual makeup of the film. And of course there's the character of Dr. Hannibal Lecter. Lecter is an enigma who personifies both the civilized and animalistic aspects of the story. He is a psychotic, murdering cannibal who takes pleasure in eating human flesh. But he is also a doctor and an intellectual, a man who appreciates wine, art, and above all things, etiquette. Put simply, Hannibal Lecter is a paradox, a civilized animal and a savage person. This idea is illustrated in the film's now iconic shot, where we see his intellect in full display, but his mouth is muzzled, as if he were a rabid dog.
Oh, and Senator, just one more thing. Love your suit.
So Lecter and Starling will have to merge minds in order to stop Buffalo Bill and save his next victim. But even Buffalo Bill's next victim is associated with an animal. The girl Starling wishes to save, for her, is but a symbol for the lamb she tried in vain to save as a child. So on the surface, we have a movie about cops, psychiatrists, and serial killers. But beneath the surface, we have a primal story, a savage story about lambs, man-eaters, butterflies, and birds. Horror films have not been kind to women. Women are usually the victims of a variety of sexualized violence, while men are usually the perpetrators of that violence. With Silence of the Lambs, we see a reversal of this trope. Here, we have a female hero who is brave, resourceful, and refuses to become a victim. What's interesting is how the film subtly references the importance of Clarice's gender. Clarice is a woman, a working woman in a man's line of work, but she is also physically and symbolically smaller than the rest of the men in her work. In one funny scene, she goes inside the FBI building and steps into an elevator filled with men towering above her, making her look extremely small. But we should also pay close attention to the film's use of camera angles, and its use of close-up, the close-up where the camera stares right at Clarice Starling. The audience's vision is repeatedly linked to both Dr. Lecter and the other males in the film. In fact, the climax of the movie is a scene where we look at Clarice through the night vision enhanced eyes of a killer. We see her, but she can't see us. This use of camera angles and point of view shots convey the idea that Clarice is not in control of her own space. Purely through chance, Clarice vanquishes the monster and lets in the light and is able to survive the darkness. Silence of the Lambs was a big hit when it came out. The film garnered several Academy Awards and critical acclaim. In fact, Lambs was such a hit that it practically created the subgenre of the 90s serial killer movie. Now, these were films about the hunt for a serial killer who outwardly looked normal, but was in fact a madman. So it wasn't long until movies like Seven, Copycat, Kiss the Girls, and many, many others took the format of Silence of the Lambs and reworked it in various ways. Almost 10 years after the original, the characters returned without Jodie Foster for a follow-up film called Hannibal and even a prequel called The Red Dragon, both based on Thomas Harris's novels. These films are alright, but the character of Hannibal has even been recently made into a TV series for NBC. So I don't think we have heard the last of Lambs at all. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to my channel and post comments below. Thank you.
To eating your wife.